Hello everyone, welcome back to Vyavsayam. Today we are bringing you an exciting conversation with someone who has taken a unique career path that you don't often hear about with people from agriculture. We have Praneetha Yanam. She has a bachelor's degree in agriculture from India and she graduated with a master's in applied econometrics and data analytics from the University of Arizona in the US. She is currently working as a Regional Research Analyst at Upjohn Institute for Employment Research, contributing to impactful employment and economic research in the US. In this video, Praneetha shared her experiences on how she transitioned from ag studies to econometrics and advised aspiring students, gave some insights on salary expectations, and also her role at Upjohn Institute. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with anyone who are exploring new career options in the agriculture. Subscribe to Vyavsayam for more inspirational journeys like this. Praneetha, thanks for doing this. I would like to begin by asking about your educational journey from your undergrad to your current workplace.
Yeah, sure. Firstly, thank you so much for having me, and thanks for doing this for all the agricultural students who want to pursue their education in the United States. Back in the time when we first started, we wanted to have some guidance, and thank you for taking up the initiative. Coming to my own journey, I did my master's in agricultural economics from University of Arizona, and the emphasis was on applied econometrics and data analytics, which is more towards quantitative side of economics. And prior to that, I have another master's degree from Marathwada Agricultural University in Maharashtra, India, and that was through ICR JRF examination. And right after my master's at University of Arizona, I did an internship as a climate resilience and agriculture intern in International Development Enterprises Global, which is a non-profit organization, and it has its operations in 10 different countries. And currently, I'm working as a research analyst in Upjohn Institute for Employment Research.
Okay, so we both share a common background, bachelor's in agriculture, and
Right.
usually it's entomology, plant pathology, plant breeding, genetics. Those are the main streams that people chose for masters. Any specific reason why you wanted to study ag economics?
Definitely. So initially, that was a tough choice for me, even to choose between plant breeding and ag economics. Uh, so professionally, Dr. Ashok Gulati, he has profound influence on me being interested in ag economics. So at that time, the deciding factors for me were I thought there is a lot of demand and there is so much people can do in terms of policy designing and any analysis that we can do in terms of providing quantitative support uh, for the farmers or in terms of improving their income or anything in particular in those issues. Uh, Also, I had seen there is a lot of gap in agricultural policies being disseminated to farmers community because they have been doing what they have already known, which is not bad, but in terms of improving their practices or something like that, there has to be a bridge in the in filling that gap between like what other research scientists are doing in the lab and how it is being translated. That way, there is a lot of overlap between agricultural extension and ag economics. Uh, Whereas for agriculture extension, it is conducting the surveys and everything. Whereas when it comes to economics, it is a lot of quantitative evidence-backed support to those policies. Also, my father, he worked as a agricultural field officer, so I naturally had some inclination towards economics that way.
You also mentioned you had a master's degree in ag economics from India. And you have a master's degree in economics from University of Arizona. Is there a reason why you went for a double master's instead of going in for a PhD program or something like that here in the US?
Sure. Initially, to my own journey, like right after bachelor's, when I was applying for master's, I only applied to one selected university and I applied for master's in water policy. for which I got rejected just because the education system, especially with related to ag econ in the US, is like there is a dedicated 4 year bachelor's degree for agricultural economics, whereas we only study it as a subject and we only get introduced to the important concepts uh, within that agricultural economics and bachelor's. So even for masters, it's not lot of quantitative exposure. Also for PhD, everybody is evaluated based on number of statistics or mathematics courses one takes along with economic foundational courses, that we don't get lot of exposure in particular to agricultural economics. uh, One could actually do, like right after masters one could apply for PhD programs, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be as quantitative focus as it is in the US, because in the discipline that I have studied, it is econometrics. It comes at the intersection of economics, statistics, and mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Also, lot of agriculture folks, they come after BPC, and they wouldn't have any mathematics background right after 12, like 10th class, right?
Right.
So that becomes a challenge. Also, for me, I don't have regrets, but I don't know if I can recommend the same path to everybody, because to each their own journey. If I mean, even after they come here, they can learn on the go. They can like develop skills or anything, but it can be quite challenging, is what I believe.
Okay. So not having enough mathematics
Quantitative,
background.
yeah, statistics. There's a lot of focus on statistics, and especially in agricultural economics. Even in the masters I earlier studied,
Mm-hmm.
it was more focus on the economic theory or agribusiness management. Whereas in the US, it is more of proof derivation and it's not abstract. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you find your opportunity, master's opportunity at University of Arizona, and how would you recommend others to find opportunities like that in the US?
Yeah, sure. This is again a very niche discipline, and probably reaching out to professors
Mm-hmm.
beforehand, and that helps a lot. For me, uh, there was one professor, Dr. Satish Aradula, who was also alum of Bapatla Agricultural College.
Mm-hmm.
So right after my bachelor's, I worked as a research analyst at ICR, National Academy of Agricultural Research Management, for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I got to develop my network, and I got to build my network. And right after that, I joined for a brief period to pursue my PhD in agricultural economics in Bapatla Agricultural College. And then he was offering uh, some classes or in statistics to PhD and master students in Bapatla. That is how I got to know him. And when he was offering classes, he liked my profile, and also having had that interest to pursue masters or PhD in the US. So he offered that. And apart from this, I also applied to other universities, because nothing is promised until the last minute here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got the opportunity from University of Connecticut as well, with research assistance. So from there, it is again through like reaching out to professors with our resume, and uh, understanding what their common interests are, common research interests are, and if we have expertise, or at least it is not expected that we are experts in that particular field, but at least having familiarity with that research topic or their current area of research, that helped me a lot in securing that offer as well.
Okay. So the offers that you received for your master's program in the US, were they all fully funded opportunities?
Yes. In addition to the tuition waiver, similar to all the research assistantships, additionally, they would provide a stipend. It's at no cost.
Would you mind sharing some of the numbers, like what's the range of stipend an assistantship provides for AgriCon students?
Yeah, sure. It again, like depends on the revisions every time based on the funding the project has and everything. It could be ranging between 1,500 to $2,200 per month. Yeah. Also from the trends that I've seen so far, mostly if there is funding. For example, in the University of Arizona, there is my program is a terminal master's degree. We
Mm-hmm.
do not have a PhD in that. So most of the students are all funded, but it could be either 10 hours of funding or 20 hours of funding, and it also depends on that particular. But even 10 hours of funding is comfortably enough for students to survive. And
What are some of the trending topics in Ag Econ that the potential students can look into or apply for?
yeah, also it's fascinating to see like how diverse the discipline gets.
Mm-hmm.
uh, for example, within my cohort, people have worked on environmental justice. I worked on food security policy, and other people have looked at climate change impacts on health, and somebody have looked at time use survey or something like that. So it can get pretty diverse based on it is the program essentially gives you the quantitative skill set that is needed to answer any research problem,
Right.
and it goes from there. Like there is development economics, there is financial economics, there is food economics, and there can be like environmental and resource economics, which is gaining a lot of importance these days, given the climate change and global warming and things like that. So it is again most of the ag econ, or even any applied economics for that matter, especially in the US, is a lot of quantitative focused. Yeah.
So, what are the potential career opportunities for Ag Econ candidates in industry or in the universities in the US?
Yeah, it could be in non-profit organizations. A lot of non-profit organizations, they have research analyst positions. Also, one major challenge for international students is that it doesn't necessarily have to be, especially in ag econ. So it is the same quantitative skill set that everybody develops, but just with a degree name. So it can be challenging that way. Uh, because when it comes to when it comes to using economic data, sometimes the US would require security clearance, which is only only US citizens and green card holders are eligible.
Okay.
That way options become limited, but usually in particularly my university, we have worked with American Express proprietary data,
Mm.
so that opened avenues for going into the financial sector or credit risk analysts. Or some of the alum in my department are currently working at Apple as a risk manager. It opens a lot of avenues with the skill set that we develop in this particular discipline. It could be again the policy analyst. There is a lot of overlap between. Also, there is a separate career option for public policy and PhDs in public policy, whereas there is absolutely only a blurred thin line between econ and public policy students. So people can go on to do jobs as policy analysts and careers like that. Also, there is one other whole discipline of econ consulting.
Mm-hmm.
So when there are mergers and acquisitions, it is entirely based on the coursework that one chooses in while doing their master's or PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So if one chooses industrial organization as a course or something like that, they can go and evaluate mergers and acquisition impacts to the companies. And there is one whole discipline of economic litigation and consulting in that area.
Okay.
So they prefer master students with that expertise.
Very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
For somebody with an ag background who want to study economics or ag economics per se, how would you suggest them prepare for grad school in the US?
To think about it, it's the earlier the better. Uh, so one fail-proof advice I've received from my undergrad professors was like, if one is unable to decide to choose particular discipline
Mm-hmm.
for pursuing masters or PhD, the first thing to do is to attend grad, masters, and doctoral research seminars, and to picture themselves whether they would be interested in doing, because at least at the master's or PhD level, it is mostly research oriented, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like understanding whether people can picture themselves doing that kind of research, whether they're interested, whether things like that. And additionally, the one thing that helps the most is to be at least acquainted or proficient in programming languages. That is important. I mean, one can learn them on the go, but understanding the quantitative things is another challenge. And on top of it, coming here and learning that programming language can be additional challenge too.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now in India, like a lot of people are using Stata, but here also academicians use Stata software, whereas there has been a lot of switch going on between transitioning to using R and Python. So and again, based on the PI interests and the other teammates' interests, it one have to like switch between using different softwares. So getting acquainted with using one programming language is a good sign. And also there is the econ program. All the econ programs in the US are extremely competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And even after pursuing masters, for those who wants to go into like PhD programs and very competitive PhD programs,
Mm-hmm.
there is a dedicated pre-doc opportunities which offers like 1 or 2 years. It could be ranging for bachelor students or master students. So to provide the scale of competition, even people who study masters in economics from London School of Economics come to do pre-doc opportunities just before they go on to apply for a PhD thing. So it's extremely competitive, to be cautious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, one other thing that has helped me is if one has a dream school to apply to, like setting Google Scholar alerts for a particular professor or for all the professors in that particular university, so it gives notifications whenever they publish new research.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of reading, and their research articles at least helps familiarizing with that kind of research.
Okay. What are the salary scales with a master's degree with an agicon in the US, whether it can be
Uh,
in private industry or in the university?
Again, it can be very diverse because those with master skills, especially if they want to transition to industry that is above 90,000 US dollars to it can go up range about it. And whereas in research careers who wants to pursue PhD later on, it could be like similar to the PhD stipends. It can be like 50,000 to 75,000 that way in research careers. But usually there are data scientist positions. From my participation in conferences and everything, I have come to know like people are preferring economists as data scientists rather than who study data sciences, because it is for them it is using algorithms off the shelf, whereas economists delve more into the causal inference of using a particular model and developing the models by themselves. So there is a lot of inclination towards hiring economists as a data scientist. For example, Bayer, Syngenta, they have data scientist positions,
Mm-hmm.
but to each their own preferences. Those can be like definitely above 90,000 or 100,000 around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are there any insights or suggestions that you would like to give to candidates who are preparing for potential grad school positions here in the US?
Yeah, definitely. Again, the same things like getting hold of one programming language, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Also, using other Coursera or something like that to develop skills uh, out of the general background that we have. Because somebody can be there is MicroMasters program, but which can be MicroMasters program from MIT. So all the MIT professors teach that.
Mm-hmm.
It can be specifically to climate economics, ag economics, and microeconomics. There is a certified programs for that. But given the Indian students, it could be challenging because it is around $2,000, or there are scholarships available, and there is so many time series courses available on Coursera and things like that. So the more you develop skills in statistics and quantitative side, the better it gets after coming here.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Pranita.
Of course. Thank you so much.